Yeah, I know. I cut it a little short. Hello and welcome to Writer Sanctuary. What holds you back the most? A lack of ability or a lack of effort? Too many people put so much emphasis on failing. In my house, I try to teach that failing only happens if you're not willing to learn from a negative situation. Otherwise, it becomes a life learning experience. And you can't really call that a failure, because now you have the means to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Something I try to teach my children. Now, there's a big difference between effort and ability. I mean, you can have skill coming out of your ass, but if you're not willing to put in the effort to use it, then it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm one of those people. In the past, I really didn't put in the effort I could have to be more of a success than I am now. I'm not saying that I'm a failure right now, but I'm fairly certain that if I would put in the effort back in 2012 that I do now, then I would be far more better off. But one of my biggest problems is procrastination. It's easier to just say, why not put off tomorrow what you can do today? A lot of people procrastinate. In fact, I know a lot of text broker writers, such as my dad, who will pick up a 300-word article and take the entire 24 hours to finish the job. It's 300 words. It should take you 15 minutes. But it's easier just to grab the article and kind of ham-ha around for a while. I mean, after all, they give you 24 hours, right? I never had a problem with stuff like that, though. I've always been one to pick up an order and do it immediately. If I picked up an order and I didn't have time to finish it immediately, I'd release it back into the pool. That way, the client would get somebody who could actually finish the job right now when they need it. If I knew that I couldn't get it done inside 5 hours, I wouldn't pick it up most of the time. Which is one of the reasons why so many clients like to come to me, is because I have such a fast turnaround. But not everybody does. I'm not saying that it's completely bad to do that, but procrastinating your way out of a job, it can affect you later on down the road. And I'm not just talking about text broker either. Like, look at my Wattpad. I've been working on a horror story for the past 2 years. I keep procrastinating on it, and I don't finish it. I don't know if it's because I have a fear of succeeding or what. I keep coming up with all these different excuses as to why I can't finish my novel. And part of procrastination for many people is the fact that they become complacent in their lifestyle. I mean, why strive for something better if you're making enough just to survive, right? For the longest time I had this mindset. I was able to pay the bills, so there was really no reason to keep putting on all the effort. In the end result, it was the wrong choice. Things got so bad in my life that I almost died from it. And a big part of that is because of how I procrastinated every day. One of my favorite sayings is that you will fail 100% of the things you do not try. If you don't put in the effort, how can you expect to be a success as a writer? And this covers everything from applying for jobs, picking up orders from text broker, publishing an article on Wattpad, or self-publishing through CreateSpace. It really doesn't matter. If you're not willing to put in the effort, you're not going to succeed. Pure and simple. It's okay to dream big, but nothing's going to come of it if you don't put in the effort to finish a project. And if you're wondering, yeah, I'm making this video more for me than anybody else. I need to finish what I start. The first step to that would be learning to improve myself. And ability is a lot easier to develop than effort. There's courses you can take to learn how to write. You can practice by blogging. You can pick up small little tidbit articles on TextBroker to crack out a few of those and get some experience. But personal drive, that's the difficult one. Virtually anyone can master a skill that they already have, but it takes a great deal of mental dedication to affect your personal drive. For instance, I had this friend who tried to write for TextBroker. He wrote a sample article for the editors, and they sent it back and gave him a level 3. And he swears up and down that he's way better writer than that. But instead of looking at the article and trying to fix what went wrong, he decided to give up. After one article, he gave up his dream of writing. Shortly after that, he started working at Walmart. I mean, it's shocking how just a lack of effort from one instance can affect the outcome of your life. The point is that he lacked effort to accomplish what he set his mind to. For him, giving up was the easier option. And I know there's going to be some people that don't like to write that will give it a try and then really figure out it's not their cup of tea. And that's fine, as long as you put in the effort to try. You can't really like something if you don't know anything about it. But if you try to write and you figure out it's not worth the effort, that's up to you. But at least you gave it a try. At which point you move on to something else. The hardest part about improving your life is understanding your own shortcomings. I mean, no one likes to look at themselves in a negative light. Negative thoughts about yourself can lead to sadness, anger, frustration, and a lot of other negative emotions. But if you don't see those negative things about you, how do you know what to fix? The hardest part is being honest with yourself. A lot of people will be far too critical on themselves without any justification for it. Look at me, for example. You know how many stories and novels I've thrown away because I didn't think they were good enough? I didn't give people a chance to read them or to tell me that they sucked. I just assumed they did. Now that is a failing because I keep doing it over and over again. And the stories that I do have published, I really had to force myself to finish. Like 7 right now, the horror story that I'm working on. The point is that if you don't understand what causes you to fail, you'll never succeed. Part of the issue that you might come across is your living habits. A lot of us create these negative habits that hold us back. And I'm not just talking about cigarettes or alcohol. I'm talking about the habits in your lifestyle, the things that keep you complacent. For me, I used to lock myself in the basement bedroom for the entire day and sit at my desk staring at an empty screen if I wasn't working. It was my dark, safe room. It became a habit for me to lock myself up like that, to become an isolationist, and eventually got to the point where it damn near killed me. It's mental blocks like these that really hold people back. And if you don't take the steps to fix those mental blocks, you're not going to go anywhere. For me, getting out of my comfort zone was the biggest step. I mean, I had to move 1,200 miles away, change my whole life. It was the hardest thing I ever did. But if I didn't, I wouldn't be here today to talk to you about it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to move halfway across the country in order to improve yourself. Sometimes it just takes the small baby steps. Take things a little bit further than normal. If you're one of those people that take 24 hours to write an article, try and do it in 30 minutes. If you're trying to write a novel, start with a short story. Get out of your comfort zone and accomplish something. Like the saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you're not willing to put in the effort, how can you expect to succeed? Because if you're not willing to step out of your comfort zone and try to improve your life, you're going to wind up wallowing in a dark room in the basement until pity and depression finally take over. It's when these things consume you is when you've lost. But to quote Emmett Brown from Back to the Future 3, the future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. It's words to live by, really. If you don't like how the present is unfolding, make sure the future is different. Nothing is ever set in stone. There's a way out of every box, a solution to every puzzle. You just have to find it. And I'm sorry this seems more like a rant today, but it's been one of them days. So what do you do to motivate yourself to put in more effort? Leave in the comments down below. But as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.